Let's talk about Purdue. I thought tonight kind of showed the best and worst of them. Obviously, when Braden Smith is making shots and he can get the ball in the middle there to Traykoff and Wren, and he gets that floater going, it's tough to stop. The issue becomes there's just not much of a supporting cast. You got a pretty good game from Foster Lawyer tonight, but you were pretty limited outside of that. Rob, what did you make of this Purdue performance in the L?
Look, this is what Purdue is this season, right? None of this stuff is surprising, right? They have the best point guard in college basketball. They have one of the best big guys in college basketball, and Fletcher Lawyer is a dude that can get you 20 on any given night. And then there's not really all that much else there. They're like a three-man team. You know, the big three combined for 61 of their 80 points tonight, and that's pretty much what you're going to get. And I think what you saw, especially down the stretch of this one, is when Illinois got their big stops, the important ones, when they really needed them, they were able to send two guys at TKR. They were able to send an extra helper to Braden Smith because they knew that the most important thing was Purdue was going to try to find a way to be able to play that two-man game, right? They just all this false motion that they're doing out there, all this stuff on the weak side of the floor, engaging help defenders, make sure there's no tagger there. They just want to create a situation where they can get Braden Smith in the ball screen because they know you're playing drop. The defender's going to go over the screen, and Braden Smith is going to kill you in those 2-on-1 situations. You just have no chance. Yep. So what Illinois basically did was said, all right, we're going to play 2-on-2 on those situations. And there was not another guy that could step up and make them pay for ignoring them. We've seen Illinois try to do stuff like this before. They tried to do that to Sion James in Madison Square Garden, and he hit 3 threes before the first TV timeout, right? They tried to do that to Jackson Kohler when they played Michigan State at in State Farm Arena a couple of weeks ago. And Jackson Kohler had, 23 and 10, hit 4 threes in that game. So I think that this is what Purdue is. They have two guys that are absolutely elite and a very good role player, and there just is not quite enough of a supporting cast.
I love how you bring up false motion, though, and try to compromise the pick and roll protection, because no one loved that more than me. Nobody loved that more than like how can we hide the protection on a ball screen? Like, where is this going to cover? And Rob, you bring that up. That's awesome. I love the fact that you bring that up. Look,
he did play it. Was it Vassar or Vassar?
Vassar?
Yeah. I don't know how to say it. I mean,
hey, look, I cut John off one time, and now I'm just going to get roasted for the rest of the show, huh?
No, I'm saying he's a product of a powerhouse.
Yep, that was elite. You should be a coach. I can't even imagine your son's rec league team right now. Like, guys, we're not compromising pick and roll coverage. We have to attack.
We won a championship.
This is where the tag is coming from.
We won the title this year, McCall. We won the title.
That's what
I'm saying. We hung a banner this year. We hung a banner on Monday. We won the championship.
What a year! What a year for the Dosters.
What a year! That's awesome. I love it, Rob. But I'm with you just in terms of, look, like, back-to-back National Player of the Year gone. This is a new Purdue team. And it's almost like, Matt Painter is getting the most, like he's maximizing the group that he has. The fact that, 2 or 3 weeks ago they were in first place in the Big Ten, whatever it is, he's maximizing this group. Look, if they're a second weekend NCAA tournament team, we would all be sitting here saying, of course they are, because it's Matt Painter. It's Braden Smith. It's Fletcher Lawyer. Of course they're a second weekend team. If they lose in the first weekend, we would all be saying, hey, look, National Player of the Year, back-to-back is gone. So I don't think it's really surprising. What's surprising is they hadn't lost, 3 games in a row since the 2019-2020 season. That's surprising. That's a credit to Matt Painter. But this squad they're not as good as they were last year. Guess what? Neither is UConn. Guess what? If UConn's in the second weekend of the NCAA tournament, none of us would be surprised. They were the 2 most dominant teams in college basketball last season. And this season, it's not a rebuilding year, but they're not as good as they were. And that's the bottom line. And that's okay. And they're still winning at a high level because of who their coaches are.
I kind of feel like – go ahead.
Am I going to get yelled at for cutting you off again?
No,
Otherwise,
no,
I'm
no,
just
no,
going to
no,
let
no,
you
no.
go, John.
That we got out of the sticks at the same time. We got out of the sticks at the same time. I'm gonna
I
defer to
just
you on
you throwing out compromising pick and roll coverage, Rob. I am so it's like I don't know. I'm so happy about that. I'm like, this guy, come on.
Well, I've been listening to a lot of the Field of 68 podcasts with Matt McCall on them, so that's where I'm trying to educate myself a little bit here. The thing about Purdue is, I think that there is a little bit of room to criticize Painter for not supplementing that core by going into the portal and getting some like veteran pieces, maybe another guy that could be a defensive stopper, maybe another scorer on the ring, like just getting the next Lance Jones, right? I think there is a little bit of room to criticize him there. But what I'll say is that I think that this team is very different right now. If Daniel Jacobson doesn't, I think, what was it, a break? I think he had a fractured fibula. Because I think he's the rim protector that they're missing. One of the things they're really missing is just a guy at the front of the rim that can make it difficult to score when you're able to turn a corner and get to the basket. They don't have that rim protection. And I think if he was healthy, they would be gone. The other part of it is every single guy that is playing like a major role right now, outside of a Malik Caleb, everyone's coming back. Braden Smith is a junior. He's been in college for 38 years, but he's a junior. Trey Kaufman-Wren's a junior. Foster Loyer's a junior. So I don't think Paint's vision is I think he knew that this was not going to be the year. I think his game plan was, we're going to be able to be competitive this year, and who knows, maybe something will happen. But by letting CJ Cox, by letting Cam Heide, by letting Jakari Harris, by letting Miles Coleman learn on the fly and get thrown into the fire of a Big East season, next season, when this crew is all seniors and TKR is going to be an All-American and we got Daniel Jacobson coming back and Foster Loyer and Braden Smith are in their 83rd year as 29-year-olds out here, I think that's when those guys are going to step up to the elite level, and that's when Purdue's going to take the leap. And I kind of respect it, man. Like, I like the idea that Paint was like, we brought these guys in for a reason. We're going to let them develop. We're going to teach them how to play our style of basketball, and they're going to be upperclassmen next year, and they're going to be the players that we need them to be. And I'm going to trust them because I brought them here for a reason. I'm not going to recruit over them. I'm just not going to do it. So it is what it is for Purdue this year, but I love the way that Paint does it. I have so much respect for the way that he runs a program, and I will absolutely have Purdue in my preseason top 5 next year, assuming that all of those 3 come back.